Greetings, everyone! Welcome! Thank you for joining me on Thursday. This day is the Throwback Thursday, and my cat is mental again, so you will hear him in background as he's running around and he's growling and stuff. But that's not the point of the Throwback Thursday. The point is Homeworld 2, one of the best games ever released, one of the best series ever released. And we've already taken a look at the Homeworld 1. There was then a Homeworld Cataclysm, which I think I will take a look at on the next Throwback Thursday. But today we will take a look at, not my camera, my cat. And there we go, Homeworld 2. Got it. So Homeworld 2. It has been released in the year 2003. So it's 11 years old. 11 years! Keep this in mind when I launch the game, because you will not believe how old this game is. It's incredible. And then the franchise kinda slowed down. There was nothing released, sadly. This is such a great game, the cult classic. And it was never released on digital distribution, so you can't download it. You have to buy the physical media if you want to play this game, or you have to own it already. But there is a light in the end of this tunnel, and that's Gearbox, because Gearbox purchased the rights for Homeworld series and they will re-release, I'm sorry for my cat, the Homeworld 1 and 2 as remastered editions, so they will work flawlessly on the modern systems. Even though Homeworld 2 works pretty fine, as you can see, even in high resolutions. And there will even be a special edition for like $100, which will include a statue or a model of Bride of Igara, but I think it's time to get into the game. So let's start. I will create a new player profile, because I want to start fresh and new. I've played this game like a dozen times already. I know the dialogue in the game. There is quite a bit of it, like I have memorized it. So let's call this the stream. And let's set the graphic options. This makes no difference because we are at full HD. Everything will be up, and I think this is already enabled in my graphics driver. But let's jump into the game, into the first mission. And first animation.
In the first time, the great hyperspace core was found. With it came the gift of interstellar travel, and the Outer Rim trade routes were established, uniting the galaxy in peace. Years passed before the second core was discovered on a desert planet. Pain and bloodshed flowed in its wake. But the exiles returned to their homeworld, Igara. A young woman led them across the galaxy, and it is she who will lead them again. Her name is Karen Sajet. This is the story of the end time. We know this because the third core has been found. Under the dark influence of this core, The Taidan have risen under a new leader, a Vagar warrior lord named Makan. He calls himself the Sedgwickar, the Chosen One. Many systems have already fallen under his shadow, and his eyes are set upon Igaran. Deep inside the great derelict at Tanis, construction of a new mothership is underway. The pride of Higara. Once more, the exiles will face the coming darkness.
This is Fleet Command. Stand by for hyperspace core transfer.
Containment unit online. All power signatures in the green. Primary couplings released. Trajectory is good. The hyperspace core is away.
So, this was the introduction to this fantastic game, and you can already see how good this looks. This is 11 years old.
This is Tanis Control.
Just remember
We have
how,
visual
for
contact
example,
with the
the
core. Proceed with transfer.
first-person shooters looked like 11 years before
Trajectory
now.
alignment confirmed. Take it to 115
I
and
think to
initiate
this
capture
date,
procedures.
and I don't want to focus just on the graphics style of the game, because even the mechanics, everything is just fantastic, but just look at this. Maybe some of you guys are not even as old as this game is. Still holds up, still holds up. It's so sad that you can't buy it right now, maybe on Amazon or eBay, but it's really like super rare and limited. It's
The
incredible.
mothership recognizes the core and confirms signal lock.
And hey Snake, hey Google King,
Fleet
thank you for
Command
joining me.
online. Mothership status report. Engineering online. Stand by to initiate main engine sequence. Main engines online. Engine test complete. All standard drives are operational. Navigation online. The mothership is standing by.
Setting drives to idle.
So this is our mothership.
This is Fleet Intelligence. Our task is to analyze sensor data and generate mission objectives.
And this is Fleet Intelligence.
Before launching the mothership, we must conduct a series of trials to ensure all critical systems are operational. Throughout these trials, the mothership will be running with a minimal crew and will remain docked with Tanis. Once these trials are complete, we will launch the mothership and test the hyperspace core. The first trial will test the resourcing system. A resource collector is standing by. Begin retrieval of resource containers at this location.
Okay, so finally, the introduction is over. There'll be a lot of this, and I want to talk about the game in general. And you are right, Grugelkin. The game was kinda brutal when it was released. Like, you couldn't run it with everything on. Like, even years after that, some of the features it brought, like the shadows, I had to keep them down, even like on my 5th or 10th playthrough. But now everything is fine. I even enabled AA through the drivers because the game doesn't have it. But the engine is so advanced. Like, people are getting DirectX like 11 stuff into it. It's incredible. But about the game, as I said, it was released in 2003, and after kind of a long wait, a couple of years actually passed since the Barking Studios released the Homeworld Cataclysm, and Homeworld 2 just blew everyone away. There is a pretty big group of people that doesn't appreciate Homeworld 2 as much as the first two games, because they think, well, that the game is dumbed down. Even back then people thought that the games are getting dumber and dumber, but I think, well, I really like Homeworld 2. I don't like it as much, for example, as Homeworld Cataclysm, which I think is the best game of the series, and that's why I'm saving it for the last. But it looked so much better. Like, this is just vastly updated engine of the first two games, and just look at this. And the mothership looks like it has thousands of polygons, but in reality it's just a clever usage of a texture and of the model itself. Yeah, it's just great. And the whole game is very narrated. There are no branching options, so you are playing it through the same way almost every time. You can make some choices of your fleet composition and stuff, but mostly this is heavily narrated strategy game. There are not that many of them out there, and there are not that many real-time strategy space games like this one. So as I said, this is our mothership, the Pride of Higara, the brand new mothership, which we constructed after returning home to Higara after being exiled in Kushan after a long war with the Taidani people. And right now we have rebuilt a new mothership, Pride of Higara, in this is a derelict of Tanis. There is a lot of these. You can even see in the distance, like the backgrounds of the games are just stunning. Can you even imagine how huge this has to be? This construct in the background. I know it's just a picture, but it's something like a Dyson sphere or a Dyson's ring, because it's covering the sun and it goes like fractions of like light minutes, light hours long construct in the distance. Like the Tanis station itself is huge, just even compared to the Pride of Higara, which is one of the biggest ships, controllable ships in the game. So yeah, and you will see many more of these derelicts in the game as we progress. Okay, Snake, you are just lurking. I don't expect, like, this is almost heartbreaking how the game was treated. You can pick up Master of Orion, which I've covered the last time. You can pick up the old civilizations. You can pick up the XCOM. There's even like release of XCOM. But until like this year or the last year, there was no hope for Homeworld. None at all. Such a classic and cult game. It was never released in digital, like a digital download. You can't buy it on Steam. You can't buy it even on GOG. I think it's because of the rights, because the HQ was holding the rights and they were just holding tight onto them, and then they went luckily for us, bankrupt, and then they released the rights and Gearbox bought them. So yes, but into the game. This is our mothership, this is our resource collector, and the game wants us to collect some resources, so we will start this by hitting H, or you can even click on one of these containers. They are just to test that we can process the raw resources into the money we are spending on the ships, on the building, on the research and everything. And yeah, just testing mothership, just like in the first game. We are testing the mothership, everything works. And that's about it in the first mission. Well, for now, that is.
Resourcing systems fully operational.
Resource systems work
Trial
just fine.
successful.
We will now test the mothership's production capabilities. Begin construction of a fighter facility subsystem.
Okay, this is also a new addition to the game, but as you most likely don't even know the first game,
production
you'll
underway.
just build a subsystem which will like grow or will be built on top of the mothership. And the subsystem thingy was, I think, brought in by the Barking Studios in the Homeworld Cataclysm actually.
Mothership.
It isn't a brand new thing in the Homeworld 2. It was just expanded upon. I never played Comanche vs. Hokum. I have read about it. I even remember the review of it. I read in an actual magazine back then. But I played games like F117 or F-18 or LHX. Was
Mothership
a
fighter
helicopter,
facility complete.
like
Fighter facility
arcade
subsystem
simulator.
complete.
But back to the game.
Engineering is online and ready for fighter production.
You can see the
test
fighter
basic
facilities
combat
right on
capabilities.
top of
Construct
Pratigara.
an interceptor squadron.
And just like all of the other subsystems, like the engines and
Mothership.
many other you can see, or here, research module, it can be targeted individually and destroyed. And if you don't have your fighter facility module,
Production
you can't build
underway.
interceptors and more advanced fighters as well. So it added a lot more tactical capabilities to the game. I like to build 4 of these guys in the first mission. This will be also a little bit of a guide if you want to play the game, because it will be, as I said, released like by the end of the year, maybe early next year. Maybe you are watching the video later and it's already out there, but there will be a remastered version of this game released by Gearbox, just like the first
Interceptor
Homeworld,
squadron
sadly no
complete.
Cataclysm. And
Stand by
yes,
to begin combat trials.
you will be able to buy this game. Not right now.
Perimeter
You
Station
can only buy
Chimera
the
will
boxed
assist by providing target
physical
drones.
version, but in a couple of months
The
it will
drones
be
are
out there,
located
and
here.
everyone will be able to buy it.
Use the interceptors to destroy the target drones.
I will still wait. I will wait for the rest of my squadrons to be built, but this is another addition. In all of the other games of this series, you had to build your interceptors one by one,
Interceptor
and then
squadron
make
complete.
squadrons of your own and set their
Copy.
shape or their tactics and strike formation. That's it. In this game it's kind of toned down, so you don't have 10 formations. You can only set, they are combined with the tactics of the first game. So in the standard formation they are in delta.
Weapon set
If
to
you
full
go
power.
in aggressive formation, they will switch into claw formation.
At
And
ease.
if you go into the passive, they are trying their best to avoid enemy fire. So they are
Interceptor
in this
squadron
kind
complete.
of wavy formation, and they will basically spread out as much as they can, so they can't be picked off by the enemy.
Stay sharp.
But this is the standard one, and I kind of like to keep the interceptors in the delta formation. In the aggressive formation, they can even hit each other. Yes, in this game, every shot is like simulated. It's not just throwing like a dice in the background. Every shot leaves the weapon and multiple weapons sometimes, and it has to hit the target actually. So that's another
Interceptor
brilliant
squadron
thing about this
complete.
game. And the interceptors are shooting like from a machine gun or a Gatling gun or something, or a gun, rapid firing gun. So you will see a lot of this. So I've built my 4 interceptors,
Group
which
1
is
designated.
as much as I built usually. I will send them into
sharp.
aggressive formation right
Weapon
now,
set to full power.
and I will send them after the
Moving to
drones.
intercept.
My resource collector is still collecting these containers, and that's it for now. So our interceptors will go after them. I hope they will not hit each other. It can happen if they are set into aggressive formation. But yeah. Now dealing with the drones, this is another test.
Group 1 reports victory.
And look at this. Look at the little trail of fuel they are leaving
Attention
behind.
Tanis Control. This is Perimeter Station Chimera. We have multiple unidentified units detected. Signal indicates Vager Bomber Strike Force.
And these are the enemies. The Vager. There used to be Taidani, I think. There used to be a lot of people, but they are basically like
This is a
hoons.
scramble alert. All pilots
Another
to their
tribe.
stations.
Swarming the galaxy.
Chimera Base. This is Blue Leader. Enemy units locked in. Awaiting orders.
Okay, so Chimera provided us with an
Tanis
extra
is under
squadron
attack.
of
All
interceptors,
forces
so
to
we have
combat alert. This
5
is not
of them
a
right
test.
now. I will send all of them
Interceptors
to
have been launched
aggressive
from
formation,
Chimera.
and they will go
The
after
enemy
those
must be
bombers.
eliminated. Order all interceptors to destroy the Vager bombers.
I'm I'm not going to build any other. I like to watch them dogfight. Well, this is not a dogfight, it's more of a slaughter, because the bombers are like going straight for Chimera station, so our interceptors can just shoot them from behind and kill all of them. But as you can see, like, they are hitting just a couple of the shots out of all of the fired ones, yeah. But I don't feel bad about them. The Vager strike fighters are even worse. Oh, greetings, Jackshot. You don't like Homeworld? Or were you expecting EU4? I've told you guys yesterday, this day will be no EU4. You have to wait for tomorrow. But Homeworld is such a great game. It's a different game, so I can't say it's a better game, but one of the best ones in the genre. And greetings everyone else as well.
Group 1 has
for
defeated the
tuning
enemy.
in. So
Roger.
finish them off.
Chimera Station is offline. The Vager have breached the Tanis perimeter.
The mothership is under attack. We cannot stay here any longer. Emergency launch underway.
Ship under attack. Release crews stand by for emergency launch. Roger that, Tanis.
I think my interceptors are attacking the bombers on their own. Yes. I think it's because they were in the aggressive formation.
She's looking good.
That's why they attacked. Look at them. Go. And Pride of Vigara
The
left
mothership has
the
cleared
dock.
Tanis. We are away.
Multiple enemy reinforcements detected. Estimated time before contact, 2 minutes.
2
Begin
minutes.
construction of bombers immediately to deal with this new threat. Bombers will be required to defend the mothership.
Yeah, Jackshot, I'm excited as well.
Group 1
I will
copy.
cover the game again, maybe just on YouTube, but yeah. We have to build a
Production
couple of bombers.
underway.
I like to build 3 squadrons, which will use up all of my resources, I think. Everything I have and everything that's left in the containers as well. Because they are just scratching the paint of this frigate. This is their first capital ship, or small frigate class ship in the game. Still launching torpedoes, and our mothership, the bastards they are. But I think like Homeworld 2 doesn't really need updated graphics. It looks still fantastic.
Bomber squadron complete.
Like the first game
New construction
could take
options
a little bit
available.
of an upgrade, but Homeworld 2 still looks fantastic. Just unstretching this, for example, you can see the icons are stretched out because I am in widescreen resolution. But the widescreen
Stand
still
by.
works, like, there's no real issue. See bombers and how faster they are taking down this heavy missile frigate.
That's all of them. Ready for orders.
Our first squadron,
Group 1
and our
copies.
second squadron.
Ready.
I will leave my
Group 2
interceptors on
designated.
aggressive.
Group 1.
But the bombers,
Destination
I think
locked
I will
in.
keep them
Group
on
1
in
reporting.
the Delta formation on the
Bomber
standard
squadron complete.
Group 2
one.
copies.
Second squadron
Confirmed.
of bombers, and
Group
there
2
are the.
reinforced.
Here goes the hyperspace
Group
gates.
2 copies.
Priority alert.
Group 1.
The Vager are using hyperspace gates.
2 reporting.
If they are not destroyed, the enemy can deploy reinforcements through them. These gates must be destroyed.
Group
So
1
the
standing by.
bombers will continue attacking the gates as soon as the enemy moves. As you can see, using the hyperspace gates to transport more troops in. These are mostly
Group
bombers,
2
but I
reporting.
will first take down the assault
Moving to
crafts,
intercept.
because they can go after our bombers, and that's not something I want to see. We can't save these stations, the Tanis base, and I don't even think they can be destroyed. Maybe they can, maybe not.
Gate
But let's
destroyed.
continue doing the good work.
Destroy all the remaining hyperspace gates.
We've taken down first hyperspace gate, and now we are
Group
going
1.
after Another one. So it's only bombers. Yes. Let's go after them.
There's nothing left out here.
And then
Bomber
we will
squadron
even use our
complete.
bombers to take out their own
Reporting
boys.
friendly units.
I am taking a closer look at these bad boys. Look at them. The two launchers. They even can swivel. You will see it as they will approach the gate. Or maybe not. But yeah, they can swivel up and down, so they can attack, like make a flyby run at big target. Not yet. Okay, the last gate will go down. I think our bombers are fighting with the enemy bombers, but we don't really need them to take these guys down.
Group 1 copy.
We haven't lost anyone yet. Not a single craft. And this is an advancement, I would say, over the previous games, because before that, before the squadrons, you could lose one fighter and you would have to rebuild it. In Homeworld 2, if you lose everything, every single one of these guys, except for one, and he returns back, Docs, you will get a refilled squadron for free. So, yeah, you have to keep your guys alive, basically.
Group 2 reporting.
It's like the rule of all the Homeworld games. Look at the bombers firing their bombs, and they are hitting. That's incredible. Okay, I think I have
Group
everything
2 assigned.
I like to have.
Group 2
Yeah, finishing
standing by.
off the enemy attack.
Stand down, we're on hold.
Long-range sensors have detected multiple enemy signals converging on Tanis. All ships initiate docking
Sadly, we
procedures
have to
and
flee.
stand by for hyperspace.
We are not ready yet for the onslaught. As you can see, unlike the first game, we have multiple hangar
The Vega
openings.
have arrived.
So the front one is for the corvettes and the fighters, and the side one is for the frigates. So you can use both of them at once. And of course, the door that are covering the whole
Emergency
left side
hyperspace
of the
procedures
of the mothership
initiated.
can open
Course
and
set for
produce
the Homeworld.
carriers and destroyers and
The
other
mothership
huge
must
ships as well.
survive.
But the mothership is the most important ship in the for the whole civilization. So we have to abandon Tanis, sadly, and move in to the second mission.